our roundtable discussion about teaching and learning revolution. So it's a great pleasure for me to introduce our dear speakers. Professor Andrey Kolyada, Rector of Emas Business School, Mr. Ricardo Mesquita, Head of Innovation at Nova School of Business and Economics, Executive Education, Dr. Ahmed Abdel Meguid, Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies and Administration, the American University in Cairo School of Business, Ms. Olga Veligurska, Director of CEEMAN, Dr. Daniel Evans, Professor of Strategy and Economics, Odense Business School. So, Andrey, the floor is yours. You're welcome to start.
Luba, thank you so much. I hope everyone can hear me. Let me just try to cope with this piece of technology. I just want to try to switch on my camera. But it is not me, it's somebody else. I think some of our colleagues. I mean, can you guys just skip your ownership on this screen and give me a chance to switch on my camera? Yeah, somebody else using. So people behind myself, it's not me, just you should be aware. Yeah, give me a chance. Yeah, it's me. First of all, please let me say, express my pleasure and gratitude for being here. I mean, it's really cool, and among hundreds of online conferences, this is what we have at the moment. Obviously, something really, really different. I mean, incredible job. Thank you, the Eduniversal team, and of course, thank you so much for the pleasure of talking to you today. And, when the Universal team invited me to talk to you today, I was just thinking, just looking on the subject of this roundtable, that, the subject is teaching and learning revolution, and I had two options to share with you. The first one is quite obvious and expectable, I would say. I might talk about, our experience and expertise in online teaching and blended learning teaching, because we had, I think, already 6 years of successful experience doing online teaching, extra to do to what we are doing on campus in Moscow. But at the same time, I came to the conclusion that the most of you already are experienced in this field of teaching methods, and obviously, this pandemic has improved our skills, I think the skills of the majority of schools in doing everything online. So I switched to another idea. What I want to share with you, my friends, today is two main issues, two main points. And the first one is, I'm still going to talk about how we teach, but not within the framework of the formats, but within the framework of teaching methods we implement, we actively, intensively use at Emas. And that will be going to be the first issue. Like, when the second issue I want to discuss with you today is what is our unique selling proposition, thanks to which Emas, being the youngest among the leading schools in Russia, because we are only 7 years old, converted into a global school, and we are at the moment the leading global school in Russia, attracting a lot of international students from all over the world to our programs. So starting from the first point, how we teach, I want to say that Emas is something a little bit different, I would say like this, comparing to what is the majority of traditional academic schools are, meaning that we have almost, or better to say, had nothing in common with academic world in the time of our establishment, because originally we have roots in consultancy, and Emas was created based on a successful consulting company. So we are business advisors initially. And of course, this background behind our back it wasn't just possible to ignore these. And you know, when you do a consulting project, talking and advising your client, you have to be very, very precise, and you have to be very, very practical, not talking about abstract things at all. And when we were thinking about how we are going to design our programs and how we are going to conduct them, I mean the teaching method we are going to use at Emas, we understood that the value which we are going to deliver when it comes to a teaching method should be still stick to practice, but not only practice, good practice, but also to the implementation. So we wanted every our program being and having an implementation nature. And if you consider yourself like an abstract, example, if you consider yourself as a MBA student of Emas, and by the way, I forgot to say that MBA, it is all about business education. I'm not talking about undergraduate education, because we do only postgraduate studies like MBA programs, as executive MBA programs and DBA programs. So if you consider yourself being our MBA or DBA, whatever, student, the first thing you will notice when you will go through the course of our programs is that case study method is forbidden at Emas. Meaning that if you are our student, you will not meet any single case study during whole the program. It is forbidden, and if a faculty member wants to become the part of our faculty, if a teacher wants to be the part of our faculty, one of the most important things which are discussed with her or him is that whether he or she is able to teach without cases, without solving cases. So the obvious question, so what we do instead of case study method, because we cannot, it's not imaginable to teach based only on theory, so what we are doing instead of it, what we do is what we called implementation project. So what we believe and what we run at Emas is a project-based study, and it is something very, very different comparing to a traditional case study method. Just to give you an idea, to dig a little bit deeper, MBA program being the youngest program within that family, I mean MBA, executive MBA and DBA programs, when you are a student of Emas MBA program, you have to be ready to do at least 15, 17 difficult, very elaborated, in terms, as we call them, implementation projects. And a standard course, despite of its subject, I mean, strategic management, faculty, logistics, whatever, the picture of the standard course at Emas MBA, Executive MBA and DBA looks pretty much like as follows. You will take a lecture, and during this lecture, obviously, concepts, tools, and instruments will be explained to you and delivered by a teacher. But then when the time comes to sharpening your or growing your practical skills, you will do it not on the basis of solving case studies, but instead of this, you will be doing it while doing practical exercises on the basis of your own company. Meaning that if we are at the moment, assume have 32 students in my classroom, I mean just right now, so 32 of you, each of you will do exercises on the basis of your own company. So no practical case studies, no abstract, abstract case studies, no abstract companies. It is all about your experience, your particular problem, your task, in the ground of your own, on the ground of your own company. Obviously, this way of teaching has, two sides. I mean, like a coin. The first side, it is extensive, how to say it? It is much more difficult to teach using that method, this method, comparing to what you have when you teach on the basis of case studies methods. Because if you are a teacher here, you have to, to possess that kind of expertise to be able to answer questions and give advices for each student in a classroom, and obviously each student in the classroom has his or her own background and came from absolutely different industries. So it is not, when you teach like this, it is not possible to say, I do not know how to implement this particular set of tools in your particular company, because I have never actually taught, I have never, was in this particular situation in your particular industry. So you have no chance to behave yourself like this. So you have to possess enough expertise. So it is quite difficult for us, for instance, to acquire this kind of faculty, because they have to believe at least, and obviously they have to possess enough expertise in various in big amount of industries. On the other hand, what we see is that to study at Emas programs is more difficult comparing to what students need if they study in a standard, if I may say so, academic school, which teaches on the basis of traditional case study method. Because, when you do 15, 17 interim project during the Emas MBA program, and then actually you have also to do a comprehensive final project, the graduation project, it is extensive, very impressive workload, and which is levied on your shoulders, and you have to be ready to spend a year and a half, the duration of the program to study like that. So not everyone ready, but what we notice that obviously having this way of teaching as one of cornerstones of our global positioning, we attract, we enroll exactly that kind of students who value this way of teaching, because why they're coming to us, they're actually telling to us, they expect and they want to do this project for their particular companies, in order, for instance, if they are business owners, in order to sharpen their own companies, their business processes, if they're hired managers, in order to show to their colleagues, all these projects, the implementation of these tools they acquired during their programs with us, because obviously it has a positive impact on the while climbing their career ladders. What is also very interesting is the second issue, and I'm coming to it, which helped us to become a global school. And at the moment, we have two types of international students. I just want to give you a very small impression and understanding of what we are when it comes to our global position, who are on the global stage. We have two types of global students. The first, international students. The first types are these students who are enrolling in Emas for our standalone programs, standalone MBA, executive MBA and DBA programs. And the second type of international students, these are students who are enrolled in different countries by our regional partners, with whom we created and run numerous double degree programs. Double degree MBAs, executive MBAs and DBA programs. When it comes to our standalone programs, I'm not sure about the figure at the moment, but we have calculated the number of our international students this spring, so 6 months ago. Today the number will be even bigger. But this spring we have students coming to us from more than 50 countries from all over the world. North America, the USA, Canada, almost every country of the European Union. These two are our main markets, by the way. Also Africa, Asia, and so on and so forth. What is important here, and I want to mention you in order to give a better idea of what I'm talking right now, that Russian degree, and we are Russian, is not recognized in most of these countries, meaning that these people are happy to get an MBA or a DBA degree from Russian school, but obviously this is not the main reason why they're coming. The main reason why they are coming to Emas, why they're enrolling in our programs, is because of our focusing and expertise in strategic management. And that is why actually I am showing, my website to you, because it is clearly declared as one of the cornerstone of our positioning at the main page of our website. And again, thanks to our roots in consultancy, when we were advisors, we were specialized in business strategy and strategic management, and this heritage obviously reflected in what we teach at the moment at Emas. What we teach in strategic management, and this is the main expertise, and we position ourselves as expert in business strategy and strategic management. What we teach in our MBA and DBA programs when it comes to this discipline has nothing common to what, for instance, the majority of other schools teach in their corresponding courses. Just to give you an idea, when you are an Emas MBA students and you are taking within your MBA program the course of strategic management, you will not meet discussions about tools which you can easily find, the description of them in the web, like SWOT analysis, different concepts and tools of Michael Porter, pestle analysis, McKinsey metrics, and so on and so forth. I can continue, obviously. So we are not teaching these kind of tools because we expect that these tools will be learned by our students on their own in the web. We are just controlling that they do this job. But what we concentrate, we are giving them different disciplines, concepts and tools which are much more sophisticated and elaborated compared to what I've just named. And what is even more important, it is not possible to find these deep, sophisticated tools and concepts of strategic management in the web. And this is exactly why we attract students not only from Russia, but from the countries all over the world, because they want to get this kind of tools and expertise. And there are not so many schools in the world who actually has this specialization like we do. And we noticed actually that when it comes to the portrait of our regular student, if I may say so, our students, they are more coming from high career positions, in the corporate world, being top managers already, or being business owners, because these kind of people, they are exactly who expect to get something very good in strategic management. So we are not so interested, I would say, for youngsters. However, our MBA program obviously is focused on youngsters, but we are much more interested for senior people. That is why, for instance, half of our international students, they are pursuing getting our DBA degree. And this is exactly, the expertise, profound expertise in strategic management. This is exactly the explanation how suddenly we are realized that we can do and run not only standalone programs, but we are also very interesting partner for schools from different countries. And at the moment we have a partner school, and we are doing double degree programs with them, focusing the European Union. We have a partner school in Switzerland. We have a partner school in Cameroon, focusing Cameroon and Africa. Recently, we have a great school joined us in Nigeria. We have 5 schools in India, because India is huge. And together with all of them, we are doing double degree programs, MBAs, executive and DBAs, focusing their respective regions, the regions where they're situated. And how we do these programs, they are given, when it comes to the content of the program, they are given the courses where they are strong, like finance, logistics, whatever. And we are given the disciplines where we are strong. I mean, business strategy, strategic management, strategic thinking, leadership, and so on. And what we do also, we accredit these schools, I mean, our partner schools, as Emas business strategy and strategic management centers. Why we do this? Why we accredit them? Because we are not only running double degree programs in their respective markets, but we also transfer our strategic management competencies to their local ground, meaning we teach their faculty in order to shift the workload from our faculty, from our teachers, to their local teachers, with the idea of enrolling more and more students, obviously. So these two issues, which are the cornerstones of our position, the implementation, project-based nature of our programs, as well as the profound strategic management expertise. This is the way how we at Emas, how we are doing, if I may say so, this teaching revolution, how we are developing ourselves in the global market, how we work with our partners in their respective countries and local markets. I think that's it. I'm very open and for the discussion, for your questions. So thank you so much for your patience, first of all, and great to be here. Thanks a lot.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Andrey. Let's continue our roundtable discussion. And I invite Ricardo Mesquita, Head of Innovation at Nova School of Business Economics. The floor is yours, Ricardo. Do you hear me?
Yeah, I think I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, perfect.
Can you guys see me as well?
Yes, we see you and we hear you.
All right, wonderful. Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you so much for the invitation. I know that we're helping you co-host the conference. It's been a wonderful couple of days, and I'm sure you've heard some of my colleagues from Nova as well address the floor in the last few days. I'm going to be brief. For those of you who are not familiar with Nova, especially with the brand new campus, it was recently built and opened in October 2018. It's located in Carcavelos, very close to Lisbon, Portugal. It's by the sea, by the Atlantic. So it's the location and the context are just outstanding. So if you haven't visited, I'll start by saying you just let me know, and we'll make it happen once we can all travel more freely again. So what we're trying to build at Nova, we're building the school and the skills for the future. So I'm much more focused on the innovation side, and having said that, also very much focused also on the open enrollment, non-degree executive education side as well. And within the school, and I want to leave you with some of the issues that we're addressing right now and some of the challenges that we have. We're really focusing on building an innovation ecosystem within the school. So the school is an open ground, even architecturally speaking. You can walk freely through the campus, very close to the seafront. In fact, in the seafront, and it allows also the interaction with the outside. So it's not an enclosed ecosystem; it's an open ecosystem. And what we're trying to do for us, and context for us is key. This open campus wants to create and aims to create a culture of togetherness and also community building. So we want to make sure that also taking on projects of its own, we connect with the corporate world as well and the private sector, and we're able to have all the stakeholders gather in one location, which is the Nova School of Business and Economics campus, right? So we believe firmly also in project-based learning. We're very much activating everything that we have internally in terms of ecosystem to serve the community. So what do we have internally that is really moving the needle? So besides the more traditional context of a classroom, we've been able to develop and grow a co-innovation lab, a digital experience lab that works together with both faculty, our brain power, and students to build something new, right? And we're very much embracing risk here, and we're very experimental in the sense that the outcome of all this is still a question mark, but we try to learn from the process. And I find that ever since I work in education, education is something that others do to you, and learning is something that you do to yourself. And I think that we have a lot of learners on campus and that keep coming back, especially on the executive education side. So they truly trust on the experience at Nova. Also, something that I find interesting that it's happening right now is that Nova is becoming really a safe ground for testing. So if either a student that is working, a more mature student wants to bring some of its colleagues or ask us to design a corporate program, a customized corporate program, we can actually work with them and try to build the right learning experience so that both client on the client side and from the school side, we're happy to collaborate. So the idea here is also to be able to deliver something that it's aiming to have an impact to generate actionable items for the students learning with us. Again, within the realm of executive education. Also, that I definitely invite you. I mean, I'm looking at the back of the roundtable area, and I see a couple of signs, and I see one that says Adam's Choice, the more colorful one in the middle next to the Nova logo. So I would definitely encourage you to just check out this program. It's already rolling, mainly online, but it's going to happen physically in January on campus. I encourage you to check out the content and realize what we're doing here, because it's really out there in terms of design and in terms of methodology, and the level of engagement that we're really aiming to do is unusual in terms of executive programs. So I think it's really worth exploring and finding out more about Adam's Choice. What else? I mean, I find also that we're today, Nova is a well-known school. It's becoming a global player because we're really catering to a global audience, and then that means a global talent. And the global talent war, where people are being required to deliver their best, and recruiters and corporations are looking for the best talent. I think we need to train them in an environment that is very close to what they will find out there. And we try to do that. And also in our executive education arm, we try to accelerate skills. So, both finding balance between what knowledge is and skills. And the skills are becoming more obsolete in a shorter life cycles. So what we try to encourage is also, keep coming back. This is just another step, just another opportunity for you to learn. But be mindful that you should be back to school every year, literally. And not just learn with us at Nova, SBE, but also learn some elsewhere. There's a myriad of offers happening, especially online. So we definitely encourage our participants, our students to become lifelong learners. This is not something new, but it's really something that it's extremely demanded today due to the fact that we're becoming obsolete in shorter circles, in shorter knowledge and skills cycles. Also, we're developing content online. We have formats that are blended. And we're also doing, as I said before, customized education for corporations that trust us and want to work with us. So a final idea that I wanted to share with you as well is that I believe that in order to foster internal innovation, you need to be able to find that space of collision between different brain power. So you bring your own faculty, you bring people from outside, professionals. You're able to bring students as well. There are many brilliant students on campus. You have programs within the knowledge centers, programs with the innovation labs that I mentioned before as well. And together with this, you form a partnership that allows you to really have an impact on the way people are learning and the business are run. I just wanted to open up the floor for questions and just, give you a brief. So I think I'm going to stop here to allow some time for my colleagues as well. I think there's 2 more people on the panel. Please let me know if you have any questions. Happy to answer. Okay. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you very much, Ricardo. Dear participants, if you have questions, don't hesitate to write them in the public chat. And let's move to another presentation and another experience of Ahmed, Dr. Ahmed Abdel, Meguid Associate Dean for Undergraduate Studies and Administration from American University in Cairo, School of Business. You're welcome, Dr. Ahmed. You may start.
Thank you. I'm just trying to pull off the screen.
Yes, you have a presentation tool on your screen. So
yes,
if you wish to activate your webcam,
I will do that.
do you need any help?
No, thank you. It's converting.
Okay.
You all see the slides, yes?
Yes, yes.
Well, thank you very much. I'm very happy to be on this panel and to share some thoughts about teaching and learning revolution. And I'm going to focus on a slightly different angle, which is how does interdisciplinarity affect this revolution of teaching and learning. And I'm going to showcase an initiative that we launched at the American University in Cairo, School of Business, that shows how you can actually embed interdisciplinarity while checking other boxes, such as linking academia with practice and providing extremely relevant content that could be easily adapted as things change in the market. So we just a background on AUC School of Business. We are a Triple Crown accredited school. We were first accredited by ACSB in 2006. That was our first crown, basically, and we're very proud of our current status. And of course, continuous improvement is in our DNA, and that makes us always looking for ways to adapt and to be agile as much as possible as things change. So just focusing on interdisciplinarity at AUC at large. So we are part of an institution, the AUC, which was founded in 1919. So last year we turned 100 years old, and we are the only liberal arts education institution in Egypt. So it's a unique setting where students not only get their technical training, depending on the discipline that they are enrolled in, but also get a very well-rounded experience and knowledge by taking courses in different subjects and different areas beyond their majors. So mixing discipline-based knowledge and broad-based liberal arts is part of the mission of AUC. At the School of Business itself, our mission is to develop entrepreneurial and responsible global leaders and professionals. And that ties to what I mentioned in the morning opening remarks, that students are really the center of the educational process. So we offer a wide array of courses, both at the undergraduate level and the graduate level. And I'm going to just zoom in on the undergraduate portfolio. So a couple of years ago, we started a process of revamping all of our undergraduate programs. And there were 4 elements that we kept in mind while doing so: offering contemporary market relevant content, changing our teaching and learning methods, infusing more of interdisciplinarity in our programs, and we now have a cooperative education or a co-op dimension in our programs, where students actually take some time off from the university and work for 6 months with an employer, and that is considered part of their program, part of their credits. So before I get to the course itself, which is called Business 360, interdisciplinarity is already embedded in the programs, and I'm not sure that you can see the small charts, but from the colors itself, you can see that these are different clusters of courses, and just represents how well-rounded our students are in terms of knowledge. So we want to balance between the technical aspects, the business acumen that they receive at the school, but also that they have to have some knowledge and skills in other areas. We're looking for a stronger graduate, not only focusing on his or her area of specialization, but actually could relate to other areas and other topics that definitely he or she will see in after graduation. So we introduced something called the Business 360, and this is an example of how we can actually implement interdisciplinarity in a quick, agile, and easy way. So one spectrum, you have courses that combine different majors, different departments, even different schools. That is, of course, something that is highly respected and very, very impactful. However, there are challenges with implementing such models in terms of planning itself, in terms of internal processes, the design of the program, and it takes time to develop such programs. Again, in academic setting, approving any program will definitely take time. This is common to any academic institution. So we thought of a more agile and flexible way to implement, to increase our interdisciplinarity actually above what we have, which is called the Business 360. It's a special topics course. It's a seminar type. The course meets once a week with students for 2.5 hours, and they're required to write weekly reflection papers on topics that they see each week. The idea here is that each week a certain topic is introduced, and they don't have only one faculty or one professor that they teach. Each week they see a new faculty and a new practitioner. So the course. It's actually a series of mini courses, which makes, again, very interesting for students. Lots of fun. They're getting a diverse teaching methodology, different teaching styles, different topics, of course, and it's very market relevant. I had the honor to be in one of the inaugural facilitators to launch this program. So we were 3 faculty members. I'm from the accounting department. My colleagues were from the management, teaching marketing, and my third colleague was from the economics department. And the idea behind it is to signal also to the students that this is not your typical business course, but actually it encompasses the different areas, and the facilitators are coming from the different departments. So topics that were included in this course are topics that you might see in other courses in details, but also topics that might change every semester depending on what's going on in the market. And that's the power of this course, that you can quickly introduce these topics and these ideas to the course without going to the typically long processes to revamp a course or to introduce so we talk about things like corporate governance, fintech, entrepreneurship, business transformation. So things that will be very appealing to our students, and each of these topics are tackled from the perspective from an academic perspective by the faculty and also by the practitioner. So this is excuse me, this is the lineup of the speakers and the faculty. So faculty from different areas, from different disciplines, but also speakers coming from different affiliations, such as banks, investment banks, NGOs, marketing agencies, family business, startups, consulting firms, and others. And that's what made it appealing to the students, that he or she knows that each week they're going to have a new faculty and a new topic and a new guest speaker that will co-deliver the session. In terms of students also, and I heard my colleagues saying that the diversity of the background of the students also is very important in such a course. So students coming from different backgrounds, again, helps lateral learning and sharing of expertise and experiences between students. So they're coming from different backgrounds, accounting, finance, economics, and others. So this was our first inaugural cohort of last spring. We originally planned for this course to have a couple of field trips, and each student group would write a reflection project tackling a certain business challenge of the companies that they visit. Of course, that was the plan. The beginning of the spring comes COVID-19 and changes everything, and total lockdown. So we had to adapt the course a little bit. So of course, besides being totally online, we also changed the term project for the course. So the theme of the project was COVID-19 and students actually selected the actually. So some groups selected tourism, others selected CSR, and a third group selected the financial sector. So they tackled COVID-19 and its impact on business from these three angles. Feedback was very positive from the students. They really felt that this is a new project, that's just a fresh taste of a course that tackles important issues and timely issues. Also, the interaction between the students and the practitioners also was very, very important. Even that this interaction yielded, just basically simple networking with the practitioners, which is of course very beneficial for business students. So they really enjoyed the course, and we're looking forward to actually continue this next semester. And given now the new normal, which is online, that we're going to expand this and make this more of an international course by inviting international faculty and international practitioners to be involved in this. So if any of you actually are interested to join forces on this, I'll be more than happy to share more information. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ahmed. I welcome Olga Veligurska, Director of CEEMAN, the International Association for Management Development in Dynamic Societies. Olga, it's your time to share your experience.
Thank you, Luba. Let me try to figure this out. I will have a presentation, and I will have camera as well on. So let me see if I can presentation first. Okay. Let me see if it's loading.
Okay. So your presentation will be in the middle of this.
Yes, I'm on my presentation in the middle. It was there already.
And your webcam on the left.
And my webcam on the.
No, on the left.
On the. It can be on the left. All right. Yes. So I will turn on the camera. Okay. But if someone could help me with the presentation, that would be fantastic.
I can help you. It's not downloading.
It was on. Let me just try to.
If you cannot download it.
Mode.
Do I have to return ownership or something for my presentation?
Maybe, Ahmed, if you try to give me the ownership of the middle screen.
Yeah, I will try. Yeah, I will try to do so. Okay, so.
But I don't think that there is ownership. Is no ownership.
I move now ownership.
Okay.
Moved.
Okay, it says my presentation is uploading, so let's hope it is.
Okay. Great.
Okay, am I still on the left screen?
Yeah.
Super, super. It's wonderful to see you all while the presentation is uploading. I would just like to say thank you to the Eduniversal team for inviting me to be here with you. It's also wonderful to share the stage with esteemed colleagues from different countries around the world. And to have quite a few of CEEMAN members in the audience as well. So warm greetings to everyone from Slovenia, where we are going into stricter lockdown starting from Monday. So for 2 weeks at least, but I think we will all survive. I think everyone got used already to the, as they say, new normal. And we will prevail. So I just wanted to share with you some lessons from the Siemens Network. And for those of you who don't know much about CEEMAN, we have started originally as an association for management development in Central and Eastern Europe, which was more than 25 years ago. But now we have more than 200 members from 50 countries around the world. And you can see the split of our members on your screen. Mostly these are business schools and universities, but also a number of partner associations, individuals, and we focus more on dynamic societies and the issues of change and transition. From the very beginning, our main focus was to support business schools and universities, which we do, of course, through faculty development, and we have also a number of alumni that have graduated from our IMTA International Management Teachers Academy, also here with us. It has been more than 650 since then. And we still find faculty development as one of our core tasks or missions. We also run a number of other programs for deans, for program management staff, for administrators, of course, international conferences, quality accreditation for business schools. And one of the more recent initiatives was also the establishment of the Alliance of Management Development Associations in Rising Economies. You will hear more from Virginijus Kundrotas about the Alliance later today. But I would just like to introduce the basic idea behind it is to enhance and facilitate closer collaboration among business schools and universities in rising economies, among regional associations, and help each other and support each other because many of our countries and regions share very similar challenges, stories, but also have very innovative and unique experience that provides a platform for a number of synergies and experience exchange. All our activities are based on the principle of relevance. We want management education to be relevant to the current and future needs of business and society. We have formulated these principles 2 years ago in the form of CEEMAN manifesto, and I encourage you to visit the website, see if the ideas expressed there resonate with you, and also share your thoughts with us. We would be glad to hear from you on that, and also to see how your own schools encourage relevance and excellence in your own program offerings. I would like to share with you today some of the learning, some of the insights that we have collected from our network, from our members over the course of last 6 months or so. We have seen amazing and very fast response from all management schools adapting to the crisis, switching to online teaching, creating crisis management teams to help deal with the situation, to try to understand the current and fast-changing context better, address the needs of business and students and other stakeholders. It did very well in identifying also new opportunities that come from the online education, including expanding learning offerings to wider participant base around the world. But we also have seen that there are a number of challenges that our schools are still facing, and often it stems from the nature of their business. Either it's a private business school or a state-owned or state-supported university. As we know, in private business schools, often large portion of the revenues depend on the in-company programs, and executive education suffered probably the most during the pandemic. So schools had to come up with new solutions. And we also saw the business models of management education being challenged. And I think here it's again a number of opportunities to reinvent ourselves, to reinvent our programs, to reinvent the whole business model that we have at our disposal, to find new partnerships, to refresh curriculum. So it was, on one hand, of course, COVID is a big challenge in terms of social aspects, economic, of course, health and safety. On the other, in a way, it was like this magic kick to many of our business schools and universities to do new things, to rethink their programs, to rethink their own skills and capabilities, and to come up with something new. We all saw that it's not a sprint. It was a sprint in spring when all of our schools had to switch to online teaching, but it's really a marathon. It requires a different mindset. It requires adaptation skills and support for faculty and students. It is very demanding in terms of psychological and physical resilience. We saw very, very clearly that online education will not replace face-to-face. We saw that from a number of complaints from students, from clients. We saw that from the demands of many students, especially in the West, to adjust the amount of tuition fees or to find other formats of education, requirements in terms of quality of online delivery, both in terms of infrastructure, technology, technical support, skills, in terms of staff involvement as well. We saw also that the emergency response of programs being transformed to online is not the same as quality online or blended education. There is still a long way to go, especially for the schools that have not embraced online elements fully yet because the curriculum has to be adjusted, simplified. We saw, for example, in some of our programs where we help faculty to improve their online teaching skills that basically you have to cut your content by half if you want it to be effective in the online environment. And it's very hard for many faculty to do so. It requires a lot of preparation. It requires a lot of creativity in how you engage students, how you motivate them to interact in terms of assessment of learning, particularly in terms of assessment of learning. It's one of the biggest challenges for faculty and institutions because it has also implications for accreditations and teaching evaluations, a number of things that need to be taken into account there. But the most important remains also in online education, focus on human relation, not just conveying the content and the subject matter, but really keeping the human relation and motivation and engagement of students to learn, to develop their skills, to feel appreciated, to feel progress of their learning, and the skills that they will learn, the knowledge that they will acquire during the programs will be applicable later on in the workplace. We saw that for faculty and for staff of business schools and universities, it also requires continuous reskilling and lifelong learning. Lifelong learning is not only for participants. Everyone has to learn, has to find the ways to explore new tools, new needs of education, and see how they can continuously grow and improve. Now it's becoming even more important, and not for everyone it's really easy to adjust and embrace it, especially I believe for faculty who face a number of responsibilities in their schools that they need to fulfill in terms of teaching, administration, research, and academic work. Of course, now also with combining work from home and family obligations, it's not easy, and everyone is very, very tired and very stressed out and can't wait to come back to normal face-to-face interaction. What we saw gains even stronger importance is partnerships, and partnerships not only public and private or business and academia, but also traditional business models of education partnering with disruptors of education, online universities or consultancies or IT companies. A number of interesting partnerships can bring new inspiration and new opportunities there. Of course, also for international and cross-discipline, what Ahmed was saying, wonderful example of what AUC does in their programs and the new opportunities that it brings for schools. We were asking not only our schools, but also our business partners, for example, how should business schools adapt to these new realities, to new situation? So what is actually this revolution of teaching and learning? And there were a few points that I wanted to share with you. So in terms of what should the business schools provide is, of course, the hard skills. Hard skills are the must still, but more and more emphasis on soft skills, digital competencies, ethics, collaboration, and communication. In terms of formats, many companies want to put more emphasis on shorter, deeper, but also cheaper programs with variety of formats in terms of face-to-face or blended or online interaction. And here are 3 models that I thought were very interesting. So if we think about the programs and the offerings of a business school or university, Should it be like a bootcamp experience, which many MBA programs use? You know, this very immersive, very intensive, often very stressful environment, really training hard skills and managerial competencies in a very intensive manner. Should it be like Netflix, subscription and on-demand education on continuous basis? Or should it be more a sensei approach where business professors are more acting like the wise companion, helping managers, helping business leaders, not only in terms of hard skills and soft skills, but also more on spiritual level even, and more providing this wise guidance, navigating the ways of business and leadership. Of course, variety of formats in terms of experiential learning, in terms of simulations, projects, hackathons. I think there are so many interesting tools that can be implemented in business curriculum, and we have wonderful examples and experiences to share there. And faculty and staff development still remains key, both in terms of content, in terms of tools, in terms of learning from peers, learning from other experiences, and testing, trying all the time, experimenting. And what we see is that high tech will never replace high touch. It is possible to bring also high touch to online, but really the top quality education, combining these two elements, high tech, high touch, relevance, excellence, and especially face-to-face, will become a luxury. Some last lessons were what we saw with this transition to online, with the continuous changes in the curriculum, in the format. It's very important to set realistic expectations and to challenge current assumptions, to explore the new frontiers, and to lead by example. So just to share a little bit how we do it in CEEMAN, how we support our members and our community, we try to offer expertise from our network in the form of webinars and online discussions and events. We continue with a number of our workshops and programs for faculty and staff development. And of course, one of the important platforms for experience sharing and establishing connections and supporting connections are conferences like this one, and you're all welcome to explore more what CEEMAN has to offer, and we would definitely be very glad to learn from your own experience and share it with our network. So thank you so much. Greetings once again from Slovenia. This is where we are located on wonderful Lake Bled. Unfortunately, not accessible that much at the moment because we cannot move between municipalities, but still, we hope that one day, soon enough, we'll be back again and we'll meet in person again. And you're all welcome, of course, to visit us in Slovenia when this is possible. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for the speech. Do you have some questions, dear audience? Okay, I guess